Hey there, this is the introduction to basic handling. Um, so first in this section we're going to go over equipment. First have your 6-foot leash. It's got a nice brass clip at the end. Lasts a very long time. And you got your 6-foot length. Nice, strong, durable leather. It's going to hold up to anything. Very good leash to have. Here's your 15-foot leash. Same deal, nice brass clip, 1-inch thick nylon, 15-foot line. When you want to roll this up and put it away, just roll it up like this. Tighten. Good. This is your 50-foot leash, which is good for field obedience. It's got a nice brass clip at the end. You know, small, about 1/2 inch thickness. This is your bait bag for treats. This would be an ideal bait bag for me. It opens up like so. Stick your whole hand in there with ease. Pull out your dog treats. Come in a variety of colors. You can put them around your waist like this. Now you just got a simple, got your treats, close, open, close. Ideal. Here's your clickers for treats, positive reinforcement training. I like these ones because they're very small and simple. Got like a little, can put them around your wrist like this. It's really good. And all it takes to use the clicker is hold it with your pinky and push it. And you get to use these 2 fingers in your hand. So don't do this, but do more this. Right? We got our dog training treats, Little Jacks. These are my favorite. They're very nice and soft and delicious, made out of liver. Ideally, you want a treat that the dog can eat and swallow in a 1/2 second. You don't want the dog to take the treat, chew on it for 10 seconds, and then come back to do the training. You want them to literally go yum, yum, yum. Here's your Hermspringer pinch collars. Come in a variety of sizes, but for this one we got the 3.0 millimeter collar and the 2.5, and they'll be ideal, very essential tool for doing your positive and negative reinforcement training. Got your squeaky ball. It makes AMAX go crazy. Start! There you go. Then you got your e-collars. I only use Dogtra. Dogtras are the most accurate and quality collars. They have a variety of different collars. This one's the 97S, 1900S. It's good for larger breeds like German Shepherds, Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, Malinois. Very good for that. Then they also make the dog arc for more medium breeds like German Shepherd Pointers, Labradors, Labradoodles. Then they have a smaller version, you know, for Jack Russells, Corgis, things like that. Some of them come in a 2-dog unit, like the one I have here, so that you can control 2 dogs at a time with one remote and such. So here in a moment, let's go over how to use these equipment. Okay, so here's your pinch collar. This is used for positive negative reinforcement training. The way you open it is take the links and push and pull and open it like that. And then you put it on the dog, you put it over the dog's neck like this, and then reconnects like that. You can remove links to make it more snug, to give it a higher level of stimulus. And then we can add links to loosen it so that it gives less stimulus. The more snug it is and higher it is up on the neck, the more stimulus it will give. The lower it is on the neck, towards the base of the neck, the less stimulus it's gonna give. So you have a lower part of the neck for the collar to sit on, sort of the middle part of the neck, and then a higher part of the neck, more towards up high towards the back of the ears. The collar should be snug enough to where it tightens and releases. Yeah. Like this. Here we go. So you want it to be like this. If you put it on the dog like this, and it doesn't go back to how it was, it's too loose. Or it's on the lowest setting. If you put it on too tight, and it doesn't adjust back, it's too tight. So you want a nice zip, and comes back to about here. The way these prong collars work is they do an equal amount of distribution of pinch around the entire neck, unlike some collars that only do the correction on the front of the neck. So these are a lot more distributed and a lot more better. You have 2 different corrections you can do with the collar. You can do a little pop correction like this, or also known as an avoidance correction. Then you have escape correction, which is continual pressure until the dog complies and does the wanted behavior. Examples for pop correction is if the dog is pulling on the leash and going too far to the head of you, then you can do a pop correction to correct that behavior by doing a pop like this, and then the dog comes back. So dog goes forward, pop pop, dogs come back. The dog learns that to avoid the pinch collar by knowing that the pinch collar is activated whenever it gets towards the end of the leash or whenever it gets too far from you. You can use pinch collars for healing. You can correct jumping with the pinch collar, so the dog jumps up like this, pop, jumps up, and the dog gets corrected that way. If the dog wants to lunge at something, you can correct that. Dog lunges at a cat, animal, another dog. They run, do a pop, hit the line. When you use a correction, you don't want it to be like a yank, like that, because dog pulls, it tightens. That doesn't do anything for the correction. You want it to always do a jolt, have a jolt to it. Pop. So dog lunges out. That's an effective correction. Ineffective correction is you have the leash tight, dog lunges, can't really get a pop in there. So that's ideal. That's how the pinch collars work. There's different levels of correction. You have a very, just like kind of like a reminder correction. That's gonna be like, kind of like, pay attention, hey, pay attention. Like that. And that's good if your dog's getting a little distracted and you just need to get their attention and let them know that they have to focus. One thing about the good, positive negative reinforcement training is it teaches the dog to they learn to listen even when they don't want to. So you take your dog on a walk, the dog wants to sniff every bush and lunge at every neighbor and bark at every dog, then they know they can't do those behaviors and tolerate the pinch collar at the same time. At the same time, as soon as you correct defiance, and you get a compliance with the dog, you start praising them and tell them how great they're doing, and you give them their rewards, like the treat from your training pouch, or petting, or the ball. That works as well. So you have the different levels of correction. So you just got the zip in the line. Then you got more of a higher correction, which is a pop. And then, which is a medium correction. So level 1 correction, level 2 correction, then, level 3 correction, which is a high correction, which you can move your body and then do like this. So that's more of like a level 3 correction. This is a level 2. And then this is like, hey, focus, pay attention. Good. So, dogs learn their obedience training basics on these first, and then move towards the e-collar so that they learn to do everything off leash consistently. And this way, you always are able to reinforce your commands and having the control of a dog even when they're off leash from a distance from you. Don't ever put yourself in a position to where you can't reinforce your commands, or you'll regress in your training. So these dog collars, they come in a nice case like this. Open them up like this. You got your nice sleek e-collar here. Handbook. Remote collar or remote. Charger. And a little plate for you to attach to here so you can have it on your belt. So the way you turn these collars on is push and hold the button like that, and it turns on. Same with this one. Push and hold this blue button like so. It has multiple functions where it vibrates. Then it has a NIC function, which it'll give a 1/10 of a second stimulus, which is really fast. Then it has a continual setting, which goes until you let your fingers off the button. It does cut off at about 15 seconds. So if you're pressing the button, it'll continue to do stimulus until you let your finger off the button, or until 15 seconds go by with the button being pressed. We can demonstrate the levels here. So it has a precise amount of stimulus you can give, whether it is between 0 all the way to 127. The way I kind of see this 3-digit number is it's actually more like 13 levels of stimulus, and then you have a lot of intervals in between. This is 127, goes down all the way back down. Now the level of stimulus will kind of vary depending on your dog. Most dogs will just start feeling it at about 15, and at 20 it starts to become a little bit more corrective. 25, then it becomes more noticeable. Let me go ahead and demonstrate a little bit on what it looks like. So we got this. So with a 15, because it's bright out here, we don't really see it light up at all. 25, you can just barely see it. 50, see, and then this is 80, then maximum, and this is what the NIC looks like here. So it literally does a 1/10 of a second stimulus, which is faster than I can push the button and let my finger off the button. Yeah, very good. Now when you put this on the dog, hey Emax. So, when you put it on dog, don't activate the collar, press any buttons on the remote until they've worn it for about 10 minutes. That way, dogs won't understand that the stimulus is coming from the collar when you put it on them. You don't want to have a dog get e-collar smart to where you put it on them and they're like, oh, I've got my training collar on. You want them to be where you put it on the dog and the dog's like, oh, okay, we're going out for a walk. Dogs don't interpret electrostimulus all that much. They don't associate it with anything in their life. This is really the only place they come in contact with it, with an e-collar stimulus. so they don't figure it out, and they won't associate it that it comes from you at first. So before you get into e-collar, get them good and consistent with the pinch collar first, and then the dog can wear this for most of the day. You can leave it on for most of the day, or you can just take it off whenever you're not using it. You can put it on the dog to where it's snug, to where you can just fit 2 fingers in there, like that. You want it snug enough to where it doesn't move around on their neck, because when you first put it on the dog, it takes time for it to get that good connectivity. Generally, it takes about 5 minutes for it to really get good and connected, have good connection and contact point with their skin. So at first, you may want to put it on them, wait 5 minutes, go play ball, go let them run around and do something fun, and then you'll want to test to see where they're where they're feeling it. So you can start at a 10, which most dogs don't feel at all. You can do a 16, 20, and then go up I3 until you just start seeing a twitch in their neck. It's just a reaction to the collar. They just do like a twitch, like this. And then once you just start getting that slight twitch right around where near the contact points, then then you know you maybe need. Then you know that's a good setting to have the collar on, and then you can add 2 points from there, or 3 or 4, depending on your dog. And then you'll have your setting. If you when you put it on the dog at first, the dog's feeling it. You want to use the nick button. The nick button is about half the stimulus of half the corrective stimulus as the continual button. So use nick when you're trying to tune it in. Sometimes the connectivity will vary, like I said. So if you put it on the dog and then you just start seeing that they're responding to it at 30, 10 minutes from now, they might feel it, that the collar might get better connectivity or 100% connectivity. You hit the nick and you get a little bit of a stronger reaction than you need, but that's okay. Just reduce it by 5 or 10, depending on how the reaction was, and they'll be fine. So when you take it off the dog can wear it most of the day in the morning and then take it off in the evening. To plug it in, you just take this and insert it in here, and then this e-collar, you can insert it here too. So then you plug it on the wall overnight, and then you're good to go. And the next day you use it, just put it on different parts of the neck. So say yesterday I had it on the collar here, had the collar on the dog here, move it to this side of the neck, and then this side of the neck, this side of the neck, here, and here, and here. And just transition each time you put it on the dog. So you turn it off, you just press and hold this button. Same here. And you'll see a little light here. And it'll turn red when it's off. Now with your 6-foot leash, when you use the collar, you want to hook it to the D ring, the D-shaped ring. You can't, don't just hook it to the circle ring, the O-shaped ring, or it won't work correctly. Also, when you put the collar on the dog, make sure it's not twisted like this. Otherwise, you won't get an effective correction. See that? That won't be effective. You want it like this. Like that. Also, some people, they might have need a little practice with putting the collar on and off with the dog. And when you're first starting out, just start practicing opening and closing it with 2. So just push and pull, open it like that. And then to put together, just put 1 foot in and then get the other one and then push it up like this. Kind of like you're putting on a pair of pants. So, pinch like this, pinch here, like that. Now, add this to your collar like this. Be careful not to do... Now, when you put it on the dog, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. But it'll once you get it down, it'll be easy. What you don't want to do is do this or do this, because the collar can come down like that. So another example is this. That's correct, but you don't want to put it on like this, because then that can just come right out. Don't want to put it on like this, because it can still come undone. And you don't want to put these 2 in here like that, because then it can still come undone like that. Good. Your 15-foot leash is kind of going to be a replacement for your retractable leash, retractable line. Retractable line, they're nice, but they don't have a good grip on them. You can only kind of grab a retractable line like this. It's kind of hard to control how much goes in and out at the time when you're using it. These ones gonna take a little bit getting used to, but it's kind of like the retractable line but in a manual. So when you're walking with the leash, you don't want to bunch it up in your hand like this. You want to just let it flow like that. Like that. So you're walking your dog like so. And when you're done with it, just roll it up like this. And then tighten it. And you can just fit it in your pocket, a little easy, like that. And Next time you use it, won't be all stale and stiff and dirty. Be nice and clean. Okay, let's give some more demonstration on the corrections and using our equipment. Okay, so here's an example of using a pop correction. This is a drill you can practice at home. Your leash like this, and tie it around a post. So, as I was saying with equipment earlier, this is an ineffective correction. As you can see, there's no slack in the line to do a pop. So, in order to do that correction, you have to have a little slack. You do a little pop like this. Boom. Like that. And you'll have a nice zip with the cup. Pop, pop, pop. Right. You can do a little reminder correction like, hey, pay attention. Like so. You can do a higher correction, or you can do a higher level 3 correction, which is like this. That. Or like this. Like that. This is an avoidance correction. So remember, a dog will not be, what motivates a dog to avoid the unwanted behavior is a proper avoidance correction. So, just think of the term avoidance correction. Dog has to, in order for the dog to be motivated to avoid the correction has to be adequate for the situation. If you do a correction and it's too light, the dog will tolerate it until the correction until it comes across something that it thinks it's worth tolerating over in order to get what it wants. So things like you're walking down the street, the dog knows, well, these little corrections I don't really want to deal with because there's nothing really going on, and it'll seem like the dogs are sitting great. Then you come across a situation where the dog's listening, but then there's another dog coming from the opposite direction, or there's a squirrel over there in the grass, and the dog thinks, I can handle these little corrections, but when I get close enough, I'll go for that squirrel. And so you need to be able to read your dog, that if the dog is thinking about it or going ahead of you too far, not going at your pace, then he needs a higher correction. And then when he gets that adequate correction, then he'll think, well, that was a good correction. I want to avoid, it's not worth getting corrected over attempting to try to get what I want. So then I'm going to avoid the correction. And then when they avoid the correction, that's showing compliance. And when they show compliance, you give them a treat, you pat them, and you tell them how great they did. Alright, so here's some example of the commands and using your equipment. Hey Max, come here. Come. Can you sit? Hey Max, sit. Good. There you go. Oh, I love him. Oh, I love him. Okay, come here. Sit. Stop. Good boy. See? So we got a pinch collar here. And take your pinch collar like this. Hey Max. Put it around the neck. So you can see it's a little bit loose on him. That and hold on. Put that on. Right. Hey Max, no, come here. Come. Sit. He wants the ball. No, sit. Like that. So this is sort of loose at the base of the neck, but it's not as loose as it could be because it still tightens and releases towards back. So I would remove one of these links like that. Okay. There we go. Okay. Good. Here we go, Max. So he wants the ball. Yeah. Here we go. So just say heel like this. Yep. Yep. Job. Job on that. Yep. Good. When he's walking, when they're walking, their shoulder should be even with your hip. So they shouldn't be out this far. That's too far ahead. When you're walking, they should be out this far. Stay. And shouldn't be too far behind you. Your dog needs to be here. Yeah. Yep. Yep. See that pop? Good boy. Yep. That was very light, kind of like a reminder. Good boy. Yes, it's a good job. Yep. Yep. And I tap my side when I turn. This. Yep. Yep. Sit. Good. He does it automatically. Yes. Okay. Yep. So when if they don't sit automatically like Amax, then you want to pull straight up towards the sky. Yep. Kind of like this. Good job, Amax. Don't pull up like this or like this, because then you're not really having good leverage. You want to have your hands low and pull up. Yep. Sit. So like this. Like that. Good boy. So when I do the pop correction, that's an avoidance correction. He's motivated to stay in the correct spot to avoid a pop correction. But then he gets praised when he complies to what I want him to do. When I come here, yep, when I'm doing the sit, that's a escape correction. And escape correction means when I put pressure on, he turns it off by complying with what I want. Like, for example, sitting. So, yep. So, oh, he does it automatically. Good. So, an avoidance correction is complying with what you want in order to turn off the pressure. Yep. Now you have sit. Now with down, you can take do a hand signal and punch it through the ground. Down. There you go. Just like that. Good job. If they don't, yep. Sit. Come on, yep. If they don't lie down, wait, good boy, come on. If they don't lie down just for the hand signal, then you can use your foot to pull straight down on the leash, so you can kind of step on the leash like this. There you go. Good job. Yeah. Good job. Yep. Set. Or you can pull straight down on the leash like this. Lie down. Good. And that's an escape correction. I don't want to pop down to get them to lie down. It's just continual pressure, and then they know to turn off the pressure by lying down. Good job. Yep. Sit. And also have the stay. So with stay, you just go stay. They can go into a down if they want. Stay. Good boy. Good job. When you go back to them, they have to lie. They have to stay in the down. They can't get up whenever they want to. Stay. There you go. So just because I walk around him like this, just because I do this, doesn't mean he can just jump up out of the down. Stay. He can only get up when I walk back his left side, like this. When you walk back to him, you can step on the leash, so that if they do get up on their own without you giving them the cue, they'll give themselves a correction. They'll get up like that. No, stay there. Good job. So keep your foot on the leash. When you bend down and pick up the leash, do it with your right hand. And he has to wait. And then you say, heel. Good job. Yep. Job, sit. Hey Max, get the ball. Yeah. Hey Max, out. No, out. Out. Hey Max, out. Good job. Good boy. Good job. Yep. Good boy. He wants the ball. No. Shh. So if they bark, just no. Shh. Boy, you do a little pop like that. Yep. Good boy. Good job. Good job, man. Yep. No. Wrong side. Boy. Jump. Sit. Boy. No. 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 See? You do a pop correction like that. No. Can't have it. Good job. Yep. So, say there's a distraction around like the ball. He can't just go after the ball. He has to stay focused. Yep. Yep. Job. Oh boy. Yep. Yep. Boy, now. Yep. Boy. Yep. Sit. Stay. Good job. Heel. Yeah. No, heel. Yep. No. Good boy. Job. Can you sit? Right. Go get the ball. Yeah. Amen. Okay. So now we have a dog bed or a dog cot. These are great for your living room and outdoors. Gives them a nice elevated place to lie down and go to. They will understand that when you tell them to go somewhere, they'll understand that you want them to go here because they grasp a lot more of that. They have to step up onto it rather than just step over it, like say a towel or a thin dog bed. So, easy communication. So, hey Max, go to your bed. There you go. Good. So, your dog's doing really well. You just say, point to your finger, go to your bed, and walk towards the bed. Hey Max, come on, go, go, go! So, for example, hey Max, go to your bed. Go to your bed. Yeah. Stay. And they do the downstay in the bed like that. If you're doing a downstay outdoors, then you want to use a 15-foot leash. And if you're at a park or you got a big yard, you just connect the leash to the collar, and then wrap the leash around the post like this. Stay. And now you want to practice. If you're practicing and improving the command, you want to wrap time to a post, because if the dog should always think that it's either tied to the post, you know, and can't just run off. So you have to stay consistent. If a distraction comes around, like a ball, then or a kid throws a ball, kicks a soccer ball, an animal runs across the field, you know, you want the dog. If the dog gets up and runs towards it, they'll run and they'll hit the end of the leash, and they'll correct themselves like that, and then you tell them, no, lie down, go to your bed. Then they go back to bed. And if they were not tied, then they could just get up, run off, and go get whatever they want. And then if you try to give them a command, you're not really in a position to reinforce your commands. You can only just request them to do something or tell them. You know, you can't. You kind of leave it up to them to do whatever they want, and if they're off leash, they don't have an e-collar on, then that's not good good practice. Good. So when you tie them to a post and make them lie down, you can go, 100 feet away from them. You can walk out of sight from them, and practice all these things, these good drills to improve their downstay. You can, practice with distractions around. When you're doing this training, you want to have the pinch collar on them, of course. You don't want to just do this training without the pinch collar, because if they're not feeling like they want to listen in that moment, and they blow you off, and then you try to correct them and then it's not effective, then they're just gonna learn that, oh well, I don't have to listen to you. I only listen when I want to listen, so that's not what we want. Going over the e-collar on how to fit that on. Come on, Amex. We'll demonstrate with mine here. Don't use e-collar until your dog's gotten down the basics. On leash with the pinch collar, Once they grasp everything you're telling them and doing it consistently well, then you can start e-collar. So, hey Max, come here. Hey Max, no, come here. So, good boy. Come, sit. No, come here. Come here. Boy, come, sit. Good. So when you put it on him, good boy. He loves to go to his bed. Sit. Go ahead, job. So you put it on him like this. It's nice and snug. Doesn't move around easily. Doesn't scooch on his neck or anything. Nice, secure. Stay. Job. Oh boy, go to your bed. Job. So, hey Max, come. Lie down. Lie down. Good. Stay. Sometimes the dogs will want to anticipate going there, so rather than do what you're asking them to do, they'll do something good, but they won't do exactly what you're asking them to do. Hey Max, good job. All right. Good. So when you're walking around with them, you can walk backwards to get them back in position. Hey Max, come here. Come. Yep. Good job. Yep. Good boy. Yep. Good job, Keith. Sit. Good job. Stay. Boy. Here we go. Hey Max, come. So when you have your leash, don't put it on the e-collar, put it on a nice flat collar. Usually when I'm working with the dog, I kind of have both collars on them, like this. So I can kind of have my pinch collar as a backup just in case. It's good. Practice good habits, just like that. Good. So when you first put it on the dog, it won't have perfect connectivity. So you start from a low level and then slowly work your way up. Stay. Good job. And you'll see their reaction to it. Good boy, man. Yeah. Come here. Come. Boy, come here. Sit. Good job. So I'm going to put this on 10. Good job. Hey Max, come here. Sit. Good boy. Stay there. Good job. 10. You don't really feel anything. Good boy. 13. Doesn't feel it at 13. Good boy. Hey Max, good job. Good. 15. Nope, don't see anything at 18. Nope. No, 19. Boy, is it on? No, it's not on. Silly me. Make sure you turn it on when you use it. There we go. Okay. Alright, stay. Good job. Hey Max. No, come here. Come here, good boy. Come. Sit. Stay there. Stay. Good. Stay there. So, let's try this. No. Come on. Get up. Come here. Sit. Good. Stay. We don't really see it at 11. 13. 16. 20. Not feeling it at 20 because we just put it on. Go. 25. 26. 29. 33. There you go, see? Good boy, sit. Good. So, good job. Here we go. Cup. Sit. Stay there. So you see, we'll move this down to 30 real quick. So see the twitch? Just right there. Good boy, yeah! And then he just barely feels it. So now, when we're working, we can do healing with this and all of our obedience commands pretty much. And if he's feeling at 30, we can bring it up to about maybe 34. And then some time later, like say 5-10 minutes later, he might be more sensitive to it, and you push the button, you get a little stronger reaction than you were intending, but it's okay. So when you're getting a stronger reaction than you like, just bump it down by 10 or 20 or 15. Good job. So e-collar is pretty simple. I'll keep it brief for this video. Yep. Good boy. So whenever you would make a pinch collar correction, you just hit the nick button, and if your dog's already trained in the collar, they'll correct themselves to it. So, hi, Doc. Good job, Max. Yeah, go play! Hey, Max! Hey! What are you doing? Hey, Max, out. Go to bed. Good job.